Thank you, Janet Kerr. Thank you for the introduction and my fellow members and guests. As she said, my name is Madras Chandrasekhar. It's a long name, so I reduced the Chandrasekhar to Shaker, like in movers and shakers.
Yes.
Shake and bake and all. so I was teaching in high school, so every time they won't call me Chandrasekhar, it's too cumbersome for them. So I told them, you can call me Shaker, Mr. Shaker. Okay, fine. So I came to this country in 1988, on July 20th. I landed in Los Angeles airport. The date is very important to me because on the same day, July 20th, Neil Armstrong and Aldrin landed on the moon. I didn't land on the moon, but I landed in the country, the land of opportunity. So every day I think of July 20th as something remarkable to me. It keeps me elevated, So this is the country, land of opportunity. And before I came here, I used to work in a bank in India, international banking. So I went to one of the banks called Security Pacific National Bank. I bought some books also. The bank is no longer there. It's called Security Pacific National Bank. It's no longer. This is the last edition they gave us in 1992. This was bought out by Bank of America, and they bought it. This bank was popular because if you heard the movie called It's a Wonderful Life by Jimmy Stewart, one of the famous movies, this bank financed that movie. They gave only 50% for it. That movie was about the story about the bankruptcy, about the bank went bankrupt. That's what Jimmy Stewart suffers. Finally they celebrate the New Year, Christmas, New Year. But they didn't have money. They got only 50%. They got another 50% from Bank of America. And then they completed the movie. And then after that, the movie became a 4-star hit. They made a lot of money. It was a story about the bankruptcy, but they made a lot of money from that movie. Then the bank was so proud, oh God, we made a lot of money. So they got paid the loan. They got loan from both banks. And it so happened later in 1992, the Bank of America took over this bank. And for every Bank of America, there was Security Pacific National Bank across the street for duplication. So they went down and closed down all the Security Pacific National Bank. They left a big tower in downtown Los Angeles. It was too tall. They couldn't take it out. Still, they have the sign, yes, on the top of it. They left it there. They didn't take it out. Then the Bank of America, I was trained under Bank of America also. Before that, it is very interesting how I got this job in the bank. I went to one of the branches near Encino in Southern California. I talked to the manager. It was a casual conversation, so I went there. And she said, I'll give you the application, you can fill it up. Then I filled it up. She asked me what I was doing before I came here. Then I told her I was just working in the bank. She said, okay, then she gave me a $20 bill and then sent me a store called Encino Camera. You go there and take your fingerprints and come back within 5 minutes. So I went there, took the fingerprints, came back, and then she hired me right away. That was the interview, it was only for 5 minutes. She hired me and said, I'm going to give you a test. And you have to finish in an hour. So I told her I don't need 1 hour, I need only 7 minutes. So she gave me some math manipulation, all the adding, subtracting, multiplication. I finished the whole 150 questions in 7 minutes. And then she said, I want to check something. If you don't mind, can I search your back here? And she touched me here. Do you have any kind of device? How did you do all this stuff without calculator? So I told her I would start without using calculator. In India, they used to call abacus. We're counting with fingers. Sometimes they will used to count this with these numbers too. So even the vegetable vendor in India used to count all the things. He doesn't need a calculator. He would simply add everything. So this is 150, that is 125 plus this, plus this, plus that. He'll give you the total right away without calculator. Then she said, okay, that's interesting, very impressive, but I want to do another favor too. So she took me inside the vault and gave me a big manual that the bank had. So she said I have to go through it and train all the new tellers from the branch. So it was very interesting. So I started from 9 to 7. I started working from 8 o'clock in the morning. So I had to train them. And when I had the class, the actual job, we had a position called ACE teller. I don't know whether they still have in other branches. ACE teller. They are temporary tellers. They're not full time. They can work 3 to 4 hours a day, and they can also go to school and do a lot of things. We had like 17 teller counters, and all the teller counters, 15 of them were full at any time. You can come to my branch all the teller accounts will be full. And they were so happy because the other guy, before the other teller closes, one guy opens and then they'll close it. So that when they have a long line of people waiting at the customer, they'll be very happy. So they will come and do a transaction quickly. I was a merchant teller, I was a wallet teller, that's how I started my career. And then I told them I would like to get into loans department. So I'm good in math, with the numbers, so I got into the loans department. And then I also became a notary public. So when I signed the documents, everything was under one roof. I could sign the documents quickly, they can release the loan, we can do a lot of things. That's what helped me and in my career when I first started. And then my grandfather used to tell me, it's a famous saying, if you feed somebody, you feed them only for 3 days. But if you teach them how to cook, how to make food, you can feed them for life. It's a simple saying that is a Chinese proverb. You can feed a man with a fish a day. If you teach him how to fish, you can feed him for life. So I realized maybe I should get into teaching. That will help me. I got a sense of accomplishment. Like that's something. So I got into the teaching line. I was teaching math, advanced mathematics and physics, and then helped me. I was going through the library branches. Sometimes I go to the students' home, and then the principal said, "No, you don't have to go anywhere. You can come to my campus. You can use my classroom." So I started with 7 students, and then 7 became 25. Then 25 became 50. I told the principal, I can't handle 50. I need another teacher. I need to separate. I have to divide the class into 2. So I did for the whole academic year, 2011, for 2010 to 2011. I was teaching that. And then I got into state compensation insurance fund. That's where I was working. I came from another state agency. And we had a lot of customers contact. We deal with customers on the phone. But before that, why I stressed about the customer service, because when I worked in the bank in India, the banks were not like here. Each staff member had a separate table and chair. And they also provided 2 chairs for the clients to come and sit in front of it. Here we're talking to the people on the phone. It's not a face-to-face communication. You can tell them, say, I'm busy, I'll call you tomorrow, I'll let you know later. But when they are there, they will sit in front of it right there. You can't escape. You have to tell them, they will tap the table and say, hey, I want it right now. I cannot do it. I need it. I've been giving me excuses. I don't like that. So they will stand right there. I did it like that. We had a doctor like that who was very angry. She closed the account from another bank. She brought 50,000 Indian currency and came to me and said, they treated me so badly. I cannot work there. I cannot do anything. I don't want to work. I don't want to open any account. She wanted a commercial, the bank draft, something. She wanted it. Then I talked to her. I persuaded her. She said, okay, I'll open the account here. But depending on the service, if I'm not happy, I'll close the account and take the money back. So she did that. She waited to open the account, and then for a week or so, she was fine. And then she introduced me to other clients. Now the branch became very big. One of my colleagues is the branch manager there right now in India. So that same strategy helped me here. I also help the clients here because I'm also a notary public. So whenever they get the loan documents, I can sign it. I can get the loan disbursed quickly. I could do a lot of things. I also help the other clients, not necessarily from my department, from other department also. So I realized, talking about, somebody mentioned absolutely. They said absolute power corrupts absolutely. You might have heard of that. So it's not like one person doing the same thing. You have to let the other people should all know what's happening here. I believe in the concept like if one hand washes the other, both get clean, right? That is used for team spirit, team effort. So I work with the people, I work with the staff members, I work with the executives, I work with the rank and file. So you can work with anybody. It doesn't matter whether which race you belong to, where you came from, whatever your qualifications are. So that is the most important thing when you do the customer service. And customers are really happy about it. They don't care where you're from, what your nationality is. If you do what is required for them, they're happy about it, and then they get back. They continue. I want the customer, this is how I concentrate on the customer service. Customer service, customer retention. You send them back home, and they will come back. They'll refer more clients. It all depends on how we deal with the people also. They can also say bad things about us, or they can also say good things about us. Let us focus on the positive things, which will help us develop the business. That's what I want to share with you. Thank you very much. Thank you, speaker. Thank you.